Welcome to the session on WhatIfEDU, a book that I've written, which raises some very fundamental questions about the education systems we all operate in. It's a compelling starting point in the conversation around change in our educational systems. In the book, I've asked a number of questions. I've asked, what if we change the way we credential learners, or what if the school was not divided into classes and sections, or what if we remove the boundaries between subjects? And today we get to discuss the first one, which is what if the school day was not divided into fixed periods? And essentially, what I'm doing is I'm rethinking time and curricula. So the school day is divided into fixed periods and students move from one subject to the other in short bursts. The system is uniform for all students, irrespective of whether they need to have more time or less to absorb or understand the concepts. So how can we actually think of time differently so that this particular issue is resolved? So let's start with looking at the curriculum design itself and the entire process of curriculum design. So we start with asking the question, what do children need to know? And we identify subject areas or focus areas of competency areas and break them up into subjects, strands, themes, or whatever we may like, or competencies. And then we chunk the content and the assessments to specific time spans. These time spans could be across multiple years, like in the K-12 system that we have grade 1 to 12, or prep or foundation to 12, or in the undergraduate system or the postgraduate system. But they could be multi-year, they could be based on an annual calendar of events, they could be based further into subdivisions of term, month, week, and day. And the atomic unit would be the class period itself. So when we look at a particular body of knowledge that we need the teacher to transact in class, we essentially are chunking the knowledge components into these specific time spans. And in a way that, we believe is they're best transacted, based on a teaching philosophy or a method, for example, a constructivist method or a behaviorist method or a connectivist method, and ranging from prescriptive rote kind of learning to more flexible learner or community-oriented conceptions. This is really an administrative approach to implementing curricula at scale. And this has a certain fixed conception of educational time that we use when we make the assumptions about the chunking itself, how to split the curriculum across time. And there's a very fixed kind of conception that goes through across educational boards or entire educational systems as such. Time, in fact, is a fundamental constant in education system. It underlies all our curriculum, assessment, and certification. The prescriptive use of time, for example, when the Carnegie unit was devised, constrained learning to be equated with the time spent in class rather than with attainment. And so you would end up saying 120 hours of class time is equal to 1 credit. And that 1 credit, when combined with other credits, will get you a degree. So time paints the boundaries of the progression of learning at every grade level, every learning level, irrespective of what the teacher or the student actually needs to achieve the desired outcomes. This is the known invariance of time in our educational systems. But what about learning? Learning is time variant. There are different capabilities, there's different pace of learning, maybe different intent of learning, which means that everyone needs varying amounts of class time to learn. In fact, no two teachers are the same, so even teachers require varying amounts of class time to teach. And that implies that many children accumulate learning deficits across the years because there's not simply enough time to learn for them or for teachers to teach. There have been instances where the curriculum has been slashed, the syllabus has been slashed, And the reason given is that in any case, X percentage, in case of the Delhi curriculum, 25% up to 25% of the curriculum was the syllabus was just slashed because it was not being transacted in class. There was no time to transact them in class. On the performance side, between 37 to 44% of students from class 1 to 8 in India get less than 60% scores in their exam. If you treat 60% as the benchmark, it obviously means that 40% or 2 out of 5 students are known to be below grade level proficiency when they're promoted. And many reports tell us even stories of even wider deficits that exist. So the fixed conception of time is perhaps one common sense way of organizing instruction. But is it really a common sense way of organizing learning? And I think not. Let's just go ahead and rethink time. And the first question I would ask there is, how much time do we really have? Now, students spend nearly 15,000 hours of their lives in school across 12 years of schooling. And if you divide this into 5 subjects, then 3,000 hours on any one subject. If they're spending 3,000 hours on any one subject, is it possible that we structure this much time in ways that are much more efficient? And perhaps also try and change the way we transact the curriculum, with the new structure also allowing more time for creativity, reflective inquiry, remediation, and personalized learning. Joseph Carroll, an educator in the US, found that students who spent concentrated time of 4 hours a day on a course in chemistry or math on a particular subject 5 days a week for 1.5 months or 6 weeks, which is a total of 120 hours, learned just as well as students who were doing it across the entire year in 180 50-minute sessions, or a total of 150 hours. What does that augur for time management, or for time itself to be thought of as an ingredient of the learning process? And taking it to an extreme, could our timetables become intelligent and adaptable for every student and teacher based on their choice, the complexities of the subject, the learning abilities, the interests, the environmental factors, and many other possible factors? Could this entire conception of time change from the fixed constancy to complete dynamism using, say, artificial intelligence or other technologies? So the question really squarely is, what if the school day was not divided into fixed periods? And I covered concepts like macro scheduling, block scheduling, dynamic and adaptive timetabling, zero textbooks, and many other approaches that leverage educational time. So get WhatIfEDU today and join into the conversation. Thank you.